In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the rear axles on this BMW 550i. These are going to be located under the rear suspension. Let's get into it. I'm going to remove the wheel, use a 17mm socket, take the lug bolts out. Before I take the last one out, I'm just going to hold the wheel on so it doesn't fall. Take that out, grab the wheel, and slide it off. We're going to take this axle nut off. I'm just going to use a chisel, just where the nut is peened over. You want to just get underneath there, give it a tap, try to tap it out a little bit. You can use a punch or a chisel. We're going to take this nut off, use a 36mm 12-point socket. Take that off. Now we're going to use a E14 socket. Take the bolts out. If you need to, you can hold the tire on the opposite side and even twist it to turn the axle. So you can get the bolts out. Just be careful not to rip the boot. You don't want the socket rubbing on the boot. So if you're using an air ratchet, take that out. And I'll just turn it with the other wheel just to get to the other bolts. And do the same for the other ones. And you're going to see these spacer washers. You want to put those back in and you put it back together. There you go. That's the last one. I'm just going to take a hammer, give it a tap. There we go. Slide it back. Slide it to the side and then down. Now I'm going to use a pole jack underneath the suspension. Just raise it up. Just be careful. Right about there. Pop this down. Now I'm going to use a punch on the outside and just hammer the axle in. You can use a puller on here, just put some of the lug nuts through and just push the center in. If it seems like it's more of a struggle, this isn't too bad though. You just grab the axle and pull it out. There it is. And slide the axle in. taking a pry bar just to push the axle into the wheel bearing. Just find an area to pry. And just get that in, just enough to get the nut on. Get a few threads on there. Then we'll tighten that down. Push the axle in place. Just twist it so the holes line up. Take the bolts and these little spacers, get those started. Those are good. Just taking a piece of plastic that I just cut from a water bottle and just slide it over where the CV boot is, just so I don't ruin it while tightening these down. I'm just going to try to tighten these down evenly. Now we're going to torque these to 60 foot-pounds. We're going to start with that one, then we're going to go 180 degrees to the other side, so right there. Now those are torqued. Now we'll go around and torque them all down. You can just spin the tire on the other side just to move this. This one's already torqued, but we'll just double check it. It's good. And that's the last one. We'll just double check the next one. This one should be already torqued. Yep, that one's good. And lower the pole jack. Take that out of the way. If you're doing the axle on the driver's side, you're going to need to lower the exhaust down. The rest of the procedure is going to be the same. Use a 13mm socket. Take this hanger down. Take these nuts off. You're going to lower that down. You're going to want to support this before you take the other hangers off as well. There's another hanger in the back. You can take that bolt off, or if you have a hanger pliers, you can take the hanger off, just pushing that off. And then over near the differential, there's one more hanger. You want to take that hanger off, drop the exhaust down, and then you should be able to move it enough out of the way to get the axle out. And you can put the nuts back up. And snug these down. Do the same on the other ones. Now we're going to torque the axle nut. We want to prevent the hub from spinning, So we'll take 2 of the lug bolts. Just take a pry bar and just have it up against the ground. Just turn that in there. That's good. And we want to torque this nut to 310 foot-pounds. Take the pry bar off, take the lug bolts out. Now we're going to take a chisel or a punch and we're just going to peen over the nut just so it doesn't loosen up. Just get it right where the slot is there. Just hammer that down like that. That's good. You can do it on both sides if you want to, but you really don't need to. Now put the wheel on. Get the hole lined up. Take the lug bolt, get that started. Snug that down. Take the other lug bolts. Get those started. Snug those down. Now we're going to torque the lug bolts to 98 foot-pounds in a cross pattern to tighten the wheel down evenly. And just go around again, double check.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.